Hey, hi, and welcome. This is Vicki Draper, bestselling author, healer, and animal communicator with healingyouranimal.com. And we are doing live animal communication today. And normally this is men's show. Men likes to have a monthly message. And today, though, we're starting out with Art. Art is the youngest of the pack, and she really wanted to go first. And well, let me back up because animal communication, their animals are live and in the moment. And I had to take a quick pause before we started, and Min was all ready, and then she lost interest. Um, and this is her baby. She's the one that started this. So with animals, you can't force them. So Art was raising her hand and going, I want to talk, I want to talk. And so we're going to let her talk. And she's newer to the animal communication and newer to doing this live for an audience. And so the style will be just a little different. It's simpler. So with animal communication, they have their own personalities. And so depending on well who they are and what and life experiences and everything else, the types of communication you get back. So Art has raised her hand, and so we're going to see how this goes. So thank you, Art, for being here and saying yes. And what I will share is I teach animal communication classes, and Art, Hat, and Men, who are all part of this Bouvier pack here, are regulars in coming and help me teach because they have very clear communication. And Art is just now I started participating in my classes. And so she's all proud of herself as she's learning to, well, she's doing this and getting used to multiple people asking her a question at the same time, the same question. But, and so anyway, she was sharing, I was just checking in with her before that she wanted to go first. And so anyway, she's sharing that she's getting all grown up and learning this and happy to be participating like the grown-ups because Hat's the mother. All right, Lynn, sorry. Correct me if I'm wrong. Is Hat Min's mother or grandmother?
She's Min's mother.
Mother. I did get that right. Okay. So we have Hat, who's the mother, Min's the daughter, and then Art here in the pack that
She's Hattie's granddaughter and Min's
that's
niece.
okay. That's I thought there was a okay. So and granddaughter. So we have three generations here. So okay. All right. I know that was a long introduction, wasn't it? And I know. And so with animal communication, you see her lying really still because that's what she's learned from men. That when we're on camera, men's usually lying still to give her message. And inside, though, Art is just bouncing up and down, happy to be here. So you're doing really good, Art, just staying still so the camera can stay on you and have a communication. And so we'll just teach a little bit about animal communication here, um, which we're already doing here, Art, because the information comes energetically. And so their physical isn't necessarily going to match what their message is. So you can't just look at the physical because she's clearly lying here, but inside she's bubbly, happy to be here, and I'm very happy you're here too, Artie. So, oh, Lynn, can you think of a simple question? I'm trying to think of a simple question to ask her, and I already checked in and shared that she was very, very happy to be here because that was one I was going to ask.
Maybe ask if you can get a feedback on her and her grandmother's relationship, because right now Hat is overseeing what's going on here.
Oh, okay. Because yes, Hat was wanting to participate, but she didn't want to start. Um, well, I think that's why she's like trying to be really good. She's showing me, trying to be really good by lying still instead of um being it, on the outside showing all her excitement for being here. And so it's she's wanting Hat to be proud of her because Hat, oh, she says because Hat tells her what to do. Um, yes, she teaches you things. And oh, and sometimes you're having fun and you'd rather not be corrected. Yeah. And I don't know if you caught that people watching that she just did a big sigh because that was a reflection. As soon as she said that and shared that, she relaxed. Um, that's right. Hat is there to help you. Hmm. Help you stay out of trouble. That's that's what Hat's piping in. Yes, because you're younger and mischievous. Okay, so Art, do you have something you would like to share? This is where for me to ask that to men. Men, this is mine. We started with men's words of wisdom or message of the month. And so Art is not coming back with this wise, profound thing. And that's what I was sharing with you earlier, different personalities and different experiences. And so let me ask her. So Art, do you enjoy helping teach my animal communication classes? I'll get a resounding yes. And she's also showing me that straightening up, it's like learning to be good so I can do it more. Okay. Do you have fun when you're teaching the animal communication classes? And she's like, yes, yes, yes. She's so proud to be a part of it. And so um, we've been introducing her into the animal communication classes, giving her one or two questions, whereas men and Hat get more questions. Okay. I know you're really liking uh, getting into this, aren't you? And she's going, yeah, if Min doesn't want this spot, I'll take it. um, well, this is just a 1 day thing that Min's in heat, so she's a little moody today. I know. So yes, you still get to be a part of it, but Min is the star. Are you picking up, Lynn, anything else that she would like to share? That's what I've gotten.
I think that's pretty much it, but you might talk about the different roles of the three dogs in the house and how that, how Artie fits into that. Because you were seeing some of that with Hat, coming over to tell her what to do.
Yes, yes. Um, well, I think this is a great place for you to come in. So one of the things I teach, and Lynn is very, very intuitive. And actually, Lynn was my very first Reiki master student, and we have been together for over 20 years. And so that's why uh, her dogs are always support helpers in my animal communication classes and other classes. And one of the things I have actually in my first book, The Bridging True Love Connection and Healing Between You and Your Animals, is that you give, when you have multiple animals in your household, you give them each a specific role, ROLE, because then they're special, they have their special place and special job in the family so that they're not bickering over who's doing what. And so they all feel special and it helps create more harmony. And so I will let Lynn share then the roles as you see it, because then sometimes they evolve and shift. Because before Artie came along, Min was the baby, the young one, and now Min's matured and Art is the young one. And Hat wasn't always the matriarch. It was when who was it before Hat?
Candy, but Candy,
Right, Candy.
yeah, Candy and Hat kind of shared responsibilities with Art because by the time she came along, Candy was very, very old.
Yeah. And so, so it's not that they stay with one thing, one role throughout their life. There may be one, they can have multiple roles. So when the dynamic shift in the household, some roles need to be reestablished. And so, yeah, share with everyone where they are now, how
Okay.
that works in your household.
Okay. Well, Artie, who's featured here, is the youngest, and she's kind of a pushy teenager. And Hattie is her grandmother, and she has always taken on the role with Artie of keeping her in line, no running in the house, things like that. She's always been very diplomatic about it. But, she enforces the rules, but she also loves Artie very much. So, she will take very good care of Artie. Min.
Yeah, I'll talk to that real quick because that's what Art was sharing, how she tells me what to do, but it was right in the loving maternal way that Hattie was doing that. So everything, yes, Artie was, if I didn't articulate that piece, that was the nuance of, their relationship. So go ahead.
Right. And Min is kind of the cool aunt that Artie wants to get to do things like. So she watches Min. It's like, well, let's try and do that. But she'll also push on Min more. And Min will just kind of usually ignore her and go off when she's had enough. And lately, Artie's been doing a little pushing, and both of the older girls have told her, no, you cannot push over the top of us. And she was actually given to me because of this personality that she has. So it takes two of them and me for her to be a good dog. And, she tests the boundaries a lot, but I think, in another year or two, she'll be pretty darn perfect.
Well, she's definitely proud of practicing it or doing it, because I mean that's what she kept showing me. I've got to be still for this. I've got, so I mean she's I'm gonna say she's already in training and interested in that behavior, being a good girl, a good behaved girl. And then you had more, or did you?
And that was just kind of a quick summary of their roles so that
Okay.
people can kind of see how Artie fits into the middle of this. And she's always willing to try and do stuff, and especially if it's something that Min does, because Min is the really cool dog.
Yes, and so now Art, you get to be the really cool dog for this episode. That's right, because you raised your hand and look at you. I'm proud of you, Art. Yes, I am. So, that's a little how animal communication works. You don't necessarily see gestures and expressions like we do when we're talking to each other, that it's coming from energy channels into our different senses, and everything's coming from the heart because our animals are very, very heart centered. Their hearts are open and they're waiting for us to pause and get out of our busyness and really sink down into our hearts and our loving connections and connect with them. And so that's appropriate to mention here, since Valentine's Day is tomorrow, that Valentine's Day is every day for our pets, because they're like just full of love and just holding that unconditional love for us and waiting for us, like I said, to pause out of our busy lives and to connect with them and honor them and play with them. So adding that in here for the theme of the month here. All right, so if you have questions about your animal and wanting or any concerns, I invite you to reach out to me at healingyouranimal.com and simply scroll down and fill out the contact me for your complimentary assessment. And we will get your pets on a path of healing and get clarity, and you and your pet bonding and understanding each other at a deeper level. And when you do that, their behavior shifts because they really, really, really want to please you. It's just you guys are not necessarily on the same page. So happy to bridge that connection and bridge that harmony and help transform your lives together with happy, healthy, and harmony. So this is Vicki Draper with healingyouranimal.com, and Min's message today is from Art. So Art's message, that yes, she's really wanting to be good, and she is being good, and she's still learning, and her grandmother corrects her in a loving boundary way, and that creates more harmony in the household and helping Artie grow into a very mature, well-behaved dog that's still full of love and full of bounce. That's right, because we're not trying to take that out of you at all, Art. No. And so, all right, we will see you next month. Thank you, Lynn, for being here, and thank you, Art, and thank you, Min and Hat in the background. And we'll see you next month.